Cool. Howdy, everyone. So we are live today with Ronny Hermosa from the Fair Trade Connection. Hermosa, right? It's a Spanish surname.
Exactly.
Okay. So guys, just give me 1 second so that I can share this video on social media, and then we are gonna get started. Hey, Ronny, I'm really, really happy to have you here.
Hello, Anca. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I'm sharing it. It's always very complicated to be live because I can't share it like instantaneously. I can share it beforehand. I need to share it instantaneously.
Okay.
So now here we are. But maybe meanwhile I'm doing this logistics, Ronny, so that we can like keep keep the conversation going. Could you tell us how you got started with Fair? Motivated you?
All right. So Fair Trade Connection is a Belgian non-profit organization. We started in 2011. And the reason why I got started, basically, there were three main motivations. I wanted to be my own boss. I was tired of working for somebody else. I wanted to travel and see the world and then just get out of Belgium. And also, I wanted to do something that had a purpose. I wanted to work for a cause that I really believed in and that I thought was bringing something positive to the world.
Okay, so before that, you was your passion path.
Excuse me, I didn't get that last question.
Is it still cutting now?
A little bit, but less than before. But it was cutting, and I didn't hear your question.
Okay, cool. So I was asking about your professional path. So, like, what brought you to where you're at now?
Okay, so I studied in a business school. That was my major in Brussels. So that was 4 years business school. I specialized in small and medium enterprises, the creation of them. So basically how to start a business. That was fun, but not exactly, it was very business oriented, not so much like development or NGO. But I tried my best to keep my focus on this area. I didn't want to create a regular business. I wanted to create a social business. And then I started to work for a year. I needed to pay the bills. And so I took a few different jobs that never really enchanted me. I was not really happy with these different jobs, but well, that was my first job. And then I decided, okay, let's stop this and continue studying. So I did 2 years as a master's degree in international cooperation. And there I learned more about NGOs, about international institutions, about developing countries, and different initiatives that could be done to be useful. So basically, yeah, that's my background. Then I started to work for Oxfam and WFTO, which is the World Fair Trade Organization. And that's one thing to the other led me to creating Fair Trade Connection.
Okay, so the last part I couldn't get it. Wait just a second. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm not gonna. I shared it on the. Are you still? Okay, now you are still with me. Now you are with me again.
Okay. You want me to repeat?
Yeah, so just the last part, I didn't get that one. Guys, those of you, sorry, just 1 second, Ronny. Those of you who are watching, please let me know if you're experiencing any technical troubles, because from time to time, I can hear like a delay. Let me know if on your end that is going well or not. Thanks. Cool. So we were talking about the school in Brussels and then so on.
Yes. So
like you went back
in Brussels. Yes. Then I worked for a little while in different jobs that didn't really like, but I got my first like professional experiences, a little bit of money, and then I decided to continue studying because I saw, okay, my passion is with trying to start a social business, trying to understand what's wrong in this world and what a business person can do to contribute. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna really go deep into this and start a master in international cooperation, which is a specialized master that speaks about developing countries, the different issues they are experimenting, and different ways you can work for international organizations like the World Bank or the IMF or even NGOs. So yeah, I learned about this. And then after this 2-year master, I started to work for Oxfam, which led me to work for the World Fair Trade Organization, which led me to start Fair Trade Connection.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's a really, I love how I can see your passion for doing good while creating a sustainable business, because I think that the future is really going in that direction. Yeah. So we spoke about sustainability and conscious living. This podcast is about that, sustainable living and sustainable and conscious living. What does that mean to you? How does that look to you?
Okay. I think you're right. I think it is very important to tackle this issue of sustainability or like social businesses. For me, it's a bunch of different words that say the same thing that we can put on the same concept. I like the word of saying social businesses or a business as a force for good, to use something like the B Corp is regularly using. So I totally believe in this concept of using a business for social good, for driving some positive change in the world. So since the very beginning, as I was mentioning in my background, that's what motivated me. That's where I thought I should focus my energy, my knowledge, and my life, basically my professional career. So since the beginning, it's been my motivation, and I have to admit I struggled a little bit to really find my space there, like find what I could bring, what I could do. And then when I came up with Fair Trade Connection, I started it. Even though I didn't have much experience in video making or photography, actually I started from scratch. I didn't study about filmmaking, I didn't study about photography. I just went on YouTube and started learning with tutorials, and I created my first movie, a bunch of movies for free, and then I got my first contract. So it was picking up. And now it's been 7 years, been traveling in like 30 plus countries, working with different social businesses and fair trade organizations around the world. And I can say that Fair Trade Connection is a unique business in the fair trade industry, which is trying to show the impact of fair trade through social media, video, and photography. So yeah, I kind of find my little space there, and trying to develop it even further. My goal is to have a bigger impact, to help more social businesses communicate better, because that's what we are trying to do. We're trying to help organization with a good project, with a social project, a positive impact. We are trying to help these organizations improve the way they communicate.
I did notice that many people who are doing good in the world do not have either the resources or the skills to really become visible, and to be able to not only be visible but also be sustainable, right? Like financially speaking, to be able to pay for the and so on and so forth. So cool. I really loved your project. Like from the first moment I stumbled upon it, I was like, yes, this is it. So I would like the people who are watching us to kind of gain an idea about how is it that they themselves could improve the way that they lead their lives, and if there are any sustainable like tips, tricks that you could share with them, so that I imagine that you already like met a lot of people and a lot of organizations. So maybe make like a summary of some things that we could implement in our lives so as to live more sustainable lives.
Okay. So I'm going to say something very cliche, but I think it works. You have to do what you love. That's the first thing I noticed. I had maybe 20 different jobs before I started Fair Trade Connection, and I couldn't hold these jobs more than 2 or 3 months. people started to look at me, looking at my resume, saying, "Oh, Ronny, you really need to find something and stay there. Otherwise, nobody will hire you." And it didn't really resonate with me because I didn't really want someone to hire me. I wanted to do what I liked because I noticed when I got hired and worked for a company and have a boss telling me what to do, then I easily get bored. And I get bored not because I don't find it interesting or because I don't like the boss or whatever. I got bored because I wanted more responsibility. I wanted more initiative, but the people, they were too slow in giving it to me. So I just realized, okay, I'm an entrepreneur. I want to do things my way. I want things to go fast. I want things to move. And just being an employee didn't work in that way. So, okay, I decided, okay, I'm going to do what I want, what I love. And yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's going to be painful, and you're going to eat noodles, and you're not going to be rich from one day to the other. But yeah, I never regretted 1 second my decision of working for myself. When you work for yourself, I think you invest in yourself. You know, you will never fire yourself. I can see many people around me, like my father, for example. He worked for 15 years for an organization, for a company. And then after 15 years, when he was already 55, he got fired. And then it's very difficult then to find a new job, a new activity, a new income at this age. And when you didn't expect it, you didn't see it coming. And that's the way the corporate world works, basically. You are a resource, and when you're no longer needed, then they dispose of you. And that's sad, but that's the way it is. But on the other hand, when you invest in yourself, when you become an entrepreneur, you create your own business, basically the worst that can happen to you is that the business is not going to work, and then you fail as an entrepreneur. But failing as an entrepreneur means you learn something. And if you're really an entrepreneur, you will start something else. And then like this, you learn from your mistakes. And then one day you will find something that works for you, and you will never get fired because you will be the boss. So that's the first thing, like follow your passion and work for yourself as much as you can. I know it's not for everybody, but those of you who feel it, who has this inside them, just go for it. Just be an entrepreneur, start your own thing. Another way to live a sustainable life is to have like reasonable needs in this way. That it's more like a Buddhist concept. Like, okay, be grateful of what you already have. You know, like don't go for all the shiny of new things, the new iPhone 8 or the new whatever or the new this and that. No, just try to be happy with what you have and have reasonable needs. That doesn't mean don't be ambitious. You can have big goals and big dreams, but try to be satisfied with what you already have instead of always wanting the next new thing. So that will help you, make you happy, I guess. And I'm not obsessed by what you don't have and you want, you know, like try to be satisfied with what you have. So that's another rule I'm trying to live by, and trying to be kind, trying to do something good. Basically, every morning I wake up and I have a little prayer or meditation, and I'm trying to say, okay, today I'm going to do some good. I'm going to be kind to everybody, to have kind thoughts, kind words, and kind actions in my life, in my day, and trying to create a peaceful, useful, and loving life around me. Just by expressing this every morning, it helps me stay on the right track, you know, like focus on the right thing.
Yeah, I love that. Like I felt my heart warming because that's the intention that I got. Where are you based now? Are you in Thailand or in Indonesia?
I'm in Thailand right now.
Yeah. So I got familiar with meditation and the Buddhist philosophy in Thailand too. And absolutely, like I love that gratitude, living your life with gratitude. I think that this is the basis for a lot of social entrepreneurs. And also like feeling the need to give and to support other people to kind of lead fulfilled life. And I honor that, like my heart honors that. So thank you for sharing it.
Good.
Cool. So now you are based in Thailand, but basically you are working with entrepreneurs from all over the world. I saw that you've been working with people in Africa, in Asia. How are you finding these people? Are they reaching out to you? Do you reach out to them?
Yeah. First, I just want to correct one little thing. I'm not really based in Thailand. Actually, Diana and I, my colleague and I, we are not really based anywhere. We're kind of like nomads. So we have been in Thailand for 2 months, but we are leaving to India in about 1 week. And we will be 2 months in India, and then we will be 2 months in Indonesia. So we are not based. We would like to have a base, and we are working on it. We are in the process of finding that perfect spot for us. But so far, we have been moving around. How do I find the customers and the social entrepreneurs that want to work with me? Well, as the name of our project indicates, we specialized in fair trade. So fair trade is a movement. There are major actors in the fair trade industry. By actors, I say there are different kinds of actors. You have the fair trade retailer organizations. Those are distributors, mostly located in the Western world, like the Oxfams or the 10,000 villages in Canada or America. So these are big organizations that buy fair trade products all over the world, like, for example, a coffee brand or whatever, and they retail them in their own countries. So those are the retailers, wholesalers. Then you have the fair trade producers. The fair trade producers, they are the organization mostly in developing countries with the producers, with the farmers, and they harvest or produce the handicraft or the raw material like coffee, banana, chocolate, cocoa, these things. So those are the producers. And then you have the fair trade labeling organization, the labels. You have fair trade, like Fair Trade International, and then you have WFTO, the World Fair Trade Organization, and then you have a couple of other labels as well, like newer labels. So basically that's the landscape, and we work with these 3 categories of organizations. So how do we find them? Well, at first we had to knock on many doors. Mostly we started to knock on the retailers' doors, because retailers, they need to tell their consumers how fair trade is making an impact, because they capitalize on fair trade as their main argument for selling the products. So they say, okay, we are Oxfam, we sell fair trade products. You want to buy it? So they need to tell the consumer how it is fair trade. What is fair trade? So they do a lot of advocacy campaigns. They do a lot of explaining the concept of fair trade and trying to show the impact of fair trade. But one major pain for them is that it was difficult to have like quality photography and even more difficult quality video content about their producers. So that's where I saw like, okay, there's an opportunity in this market that nobody has good stories. So let's go get them. And that's how I started to promote fair trade connection towards the retailers, saying, okay, do you need content about your producers? I can bring you some quality photos and nice movies that you can use to communicate about fair trade. And they saw, okay, why not? It was not easy, to convince them, because there's not always, you don't always find the right person, or you don't always come at the right time, or they don't have any budget or whatever. But we started to work like this. We started to work with Oxfam Belgium, which is the main retailer in Belgium. And then slowly it spread to other organizations. And then slowly we decided, by visiting these producer organizations, because Oxfam, they sent us on a mission to create some shootings in different developing countries. We went to India, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Kenya for Oxfam. So slowly we were also meeting a lot of producer organizations. And then we realized they also have needs, like different needs, but they have needs. And their needs were more like how to create a better website, or how to communicate on Facebook, or how to have a good visual identity. So these kind of needs we try to address as well. And we try to address them by giving these organization trainings, like in-person trainings. So we started to create a course, 2 courses, and then a full 3-day workshop that we could give to these organizations. And we have given it like I would say to 30 plus organizations around the world. So that's how it started, and that's what we are still doing now. Now also we have built this library of content. So sometimes people find us word of mouth or SEO, or they saw my profile on LinkedIn, or just like you find me. I didn't know you. You found me because you did some research online. I came up, and then
Yeah. And we can find this library of content on the website, right? So fairtradeconnection.org.
Right. Yes.
Go check that out. I love the videos. I really, really like the videos. And what I liked was how you also presented part of your team, right? So I saw Harry, I think, talking about, I forgot his name, talking about SEO and communication. So yeah. Very, very interesting. I feel that there are so many topics that we could talk about, and like I got even more interested in what you are doing now. What motivates you on this path? What is like your main motivation for what you're doing?
Okay, so I think I already touched about this subject. There were three things in the beginning, but I think human beings change. And I'm not the same person I used to be 7 years ago when I started Fairtrade Connection. But in the beginning, I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to do something that had a purpose, a social purpose, and I wanted to travel. So that was my main three motivations. Today, I would say this has changed a little bit because I traveled so much that now I want to travel less. Most people want to travel more, but I want to travel less. I want to have a base, I want to have an office, and I want to have a team. So these are slowly changing. I already have a team. I'm working with Diana since 2.5 years, almost 3 years now. And she's doing an amazing job. And she has become really my partner in this business. And we are the two of us running it now. She's really involved. So I'm really thankful for that. But we would like to have a bigger team. So we have new projects related to Fairtrade Connection. So I think my motivation today is this strong willingness to have a bigger impact, to make it, not to be just a small NGO from Belgium, but to become like a major actor in the fair trade landscape as well, to have a bigger impact, to become a reference in what we do. So that when someone is speaking about fair trade, okay, they associate Fairtrade Connection with the movement. So that's my very ambitious goal. But so have a bigger impact is my main motivation today. For this, we are developing new projects involving more people. I can briefly touch on them, and if you want to continue and go further, we can. But I won't be very long. Is the two projects. One is a learning platform for the fair trade organization, the producer organization. So I told you I was giving them in-person training, but this, I felt like it was limiting me and limiting us because we had to be physically in the same place. So we decided to start a website. It's going to be called the Fair Trade Academy, where we give online training, online marketing training to the producer organization. So those are online trainings aimed for social entrepreneurs, ethical businesses, nonprofits, and fair trade organizations, basically. So they will be tailor-made for social businesses, and they will speak about different marketing topics. Like so far, we have 3 training under construction. One is about visual identity, one is about storytelling, and the other one is about improving your websites. Because I've seen that these 3 marketing topics are causing problems to a lot of social. So a lot of social businesses are very good at helping people, but they're not very good at making websites, having a good visual identity, or telling their story or even their impact. So we figured, okay, if we really want to help these change makers, these positive businesses have a bigger impact, we need to help them with these 3 pain points. So that's what the Fair Trade Academy is about, coming up in November. And the next project is called the Fair Trade Ambassadors. And the Fair Trade Ambassadors is a volunteer program for talented people who are already story makers, video producers, journalists, or content creators that want to get involved in fair trade or in social business. So we are creating this program where we will train, like give a proper training about what we do with Fair Trade Connection. So help you take better photos, videos, and create stories for fair trade. We will train talented people, and then we will send them on mission with different fair trade organizations around the world. So they can do our job. They can go get the content. They can go make the shootings, create some video stories and social media stories, and vlog about the whole experience. Like, it will be a way of expanding what we do, the NINI, but putting it out there and helping people get an experience with this. So these volunteers, these ambassadors, the fair trade ambassadors, they will go in the field and they will work for 1 or 2 months with fair trade businesses, and they will do what we do. And we will promote this content on the Fair Trade Connection website and social media channels.
That sounds really good. Like, I can't wait. Oh, when will the second one, the ambassadors, when will it come
this
up?
one, we are like proof testing it in India. So next week, I guess, we will be in India. We have a first person. Her name is Kara from the United States. So Kara will be working with us in the Fair Trade Forum India for 10 months. So she will be in India for 10 months, basically. We will train her when we get to New Delhi next week for about 2 weeks. We will give her first like a theory, and then we will go on a first shooting with her, do the shooting with the Fair Trade organization and show her what we do. And then we will edit the first batch of movies with her and social media content. And then when we will leave, because we cannot stay in 10 months with her in India, she will continue and go visit different fair trade organizations in India. She will be working directly with the Fair Trade Forum India, which is the national platform of fair trade in India. And we managed to partner up with them and find a foundation that is going to pay Kara for the whole 10 months. So basically, yeah, she will work for us, and the Fair Trade Forum, we will have the first experience of how it works to train an ambassador. And based on this experience, we will continue building our platform. So we already have the website, fairtradeambassador.com. It's not ready yet, so don't go there. But it's going to be there, hopefully beginning of next year. And yeah, we need to sort our things up, but yeah, it's going to come.
Cool. Like, I'm getting more and more excited. I'm taking a look at the time, and I'm like, man, I don't want this interview to end. Thank you very much, Ronny, for sharing, and thank you so much for the work that you are carrying out. I have 2 last questions. So one of them is about success and how you see success. What does success for Fair Trade Connection mean? And maybe for you personally too. So yeah.
Okay, success. I believe success is waking up in the morning and doing what you love, basically, and not starving in the process. So if you can do what you like and make a living off of it, for me, that's the biggest success there is. Success is not only financial, and I think that's one of the problems in our society, is that many people measure success by the number of friends you have on Facebook or the number of zeros on your bank account. But I think success is really to live the life you have, because the time you have is really the only important measure. Like, the number of seconds left on this planet, it's decreasing second by second. So that's the only limited resource that you basically have. And so using this time to the fullest, I think, for me, that's success. So yeah, it's a balance between, of course, making a living, being able to afford the things that you want, that you really want, not just the thing that you desire sometimes. So being able to afford the things that you really want and being able to manage your time as you want, that's for me success. And for Fair Trade Connection, success would be, as I told you before, to have a huge impact on fair trade, to help fair trade become bigger, basically, through making it funnier, making it more modern, making it more viral, I would say, by changing the rules of how we speak and market fair trade. Because when I joined this industry, it was kind of like an old school kind of thing, you know, like very ethnic kind of products and old school marketing, not many talent. Not much talent. I mean, in marketing, in communication, I'm not saying in general. So this changed already quite a bit, which is good. But I think we could do much more. I think we could really, because the concept of fair trade is a very, very good one. I mean, to try to do trade in a more ethical way, to help poorer people, it's very respectable and noble cause. And there are so many good stories behind it, but the actors, the major players, they're not really leveraging these good stories and this noble, like they are doing something very good, but they're failing at communicating and engaging the Mr. and Mrs. everybody in the marketplace, the consumers. So I want to change that. That would be success.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. I celebrate that. Like, yay. And the last question, who inspires you and what inspires you?
That's a good question. I am inspired by entrepreneurs. It's one of the categories of people who impress me. Entrepreneurs who are really believing 100% they will make it. Like they have a clear goal and they're going straight at it and they know what they're doing and they are putting in the time and the effort and blah, blah, blah. So people like Gary Vaynerchuk, for example, or people like Richard Branson with Virgin, for example. He had an idea, had a vision, he went for it. So these people really inspire me. Other types of people who inspire me are people who seem to see very clearly in terms of marketing, because I'm really into marketing. So I'm trying to follow leaders, like thought leaders. And one person that influences me a lot is Seth Godin. He's a very influential marketer, and I love his books. I love his blog and his ideas. And I think they are very good, and they are really influencing me in my work. I'm trying to basically like take it as the holy grail, but with a skeptical also eye. I'm not just following whatever he says, but I think he's very good at understanding the kind of world we live in terms of marketing. So these people, and of course, people with a very good heart, people who are doing some good in this world, people who are, even if they are unknown people, like this Tibetan monk just trying to teach a few students in India, or this NGO in Africa doing microcredit and saving or improving the lives of many women in a rural country, in a rural village, sorry. So these people really inspire me, and I'm lucky enough to meet a lot of such people with my work. When I travel with Fair Trade Connection, I see social entrepreneurs everywhere making differences. So that really inspires me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ronny. It was. Thank you so much for the time. Like I started my day with this interview, and I already feel that this is gonna be a great day.
Good. Go make something great.
Yes, I shall. So guys, thank you very much for watching us. Now you've left, all of you, but there have been people watching this. Ronny, we can find Fair Trade Connection on YouTube. So I put a link. I'm going to put a link in the description video of this interview. Then we can find you on Facebook with Fair Trade Connection. And we can also find you on your website. And on the website, I think that there are links. You also have a Flickr, so people can find photos there. And on the website, there is this library. Instagram too? Okay, so I couldn't find the Instagram, but I imagine that it's also at Fair Trade Connection, right?
Exactly, yes.
Cool. So guys, check that out. Guys and girls, sorry.
Everyone.
Yes, everyone check that out. Thank you very much, Ronny, for making the time.
Thank you, Anca. Yeah, thank you for finding me, and thank you for your time also.
Yeah, stay in touch. Have a happy day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.